Hi everyone and welcome to Math 141. I just want to give you a really quick overview of how to start the course just in case you're not sure if you've never done this before. And I'll be doing weekly walkthroughs too. So this is kind of the getting started walkthrough, and then I'll do a week one walkthrough. There'll be quick versions and then more detailed versions as needs arise. So here is our course. I'm in student view, so you can open your announcement first if you want. Your home page is your modules page, and then you have announcements here. If you click that, you'll see just a little intro there, and then you can go back to home so your announcement shows, or you can actually just click modules, and so you don't have that at the top because you already read it. So here's your materials and information. You need to go through this before you can access anything else. This is sequenced, but most things are not going to be sequenced unless I need to auto-release solutions for some reason, like for homeworks and things like that. But you do have a discussion board where you guys have all your homework postings, and I'll probably just put stuff in there once I see a lot of the solutions have been put up. So you would have to click here to start, and then you have your welcome and go through. So this is on your to-do list just so you see it to start. Usually I don't put the pages on there unless they're really important. I'm going to move my picture. I can't get rid of that in the middle of recording, but I do like to kind of connect with you that way. Do you see my small head? So we are an asynchronous course, but we can meet in Zoom as needed. So I should say about a week ahead is when I post the material, sometimes a couple of weeks. So make sure if you need something and it's not up there and it's been coming right up to the date, definitely let me know. That means it's probably just not published. So how you move on is to click next, but on some of the things, like you'll see, you'll get this notice because you actually had to mark this as done, and you can see up here in the upper right, just click mark as done. So I want to make sure you know that you've completed that rather than just viewing the page, because what that allows is for you to track in modules what you've completed. So now let's go to next, and it should get you through. So some things you have to submit, some things you just have to view. So I know, you've seen them. Other things you have to mark as done. So if you're finding you're blocked up, that's probably why. So here's the format of the course. Again, to move to the next page, you have to make sure you go back up here and mark as done. You can, do that first off and then read the page. It's a tracking mechanism for you really more than for me, but it does help me to see when I look at your module progress. If you're stuck on something and it's not working and you're having trouble navigating, I can actually go in and see what is the hold up there for you. You can also send me screenshots too. So in this one is just a video overview. It's kind of an older one. Keep in mind anywhere I say that homework, a homework policy or late policy or any kind of grading, your syllabus supersedes whatever is in a video, especially an older video. Okay, so on this one, that one you just had to view. See, there's nothing up here that tells you a task. Here's your materials. Okay, so just go through, and there's your online book, PDF of your book. Just go through step by step. You can download that in. Make sure you have enough space. It does take up quite a bit of space, but if you have space and you want to work offline a lot, then you might want to download the PDF. I wouldn't recommend putting it in your phone though. Additional materials. Calculators are great to have, just a simple calculator to use, but we use Desmos a lot. I'll show you Desmos real quick. And It's online, so you know you have access to this during tests and things like that too. What I don't like people doing on the internet, because it's not going to serve you very well, is just actually, you know, plagiarizing, going in and finding a solution, you know, using those homework sites. Not everybody knows about them, but they do exist, and the more you pay, the more you get. So that would be cheating. You don't want to do that. But you can use a resource like Desmos. Unless I specifically say, like, I want to see a hand graph, then that means hand graph. So here's just some help tools for you. Notifications. I do a lot of communicating through comments in the grade book, and I attach like annotated quizzes or even homework problems. Like I might take a look and say something, hey, you might want to think about this one a little bit differently or something like that. So make sure you look at that. Or I say, this is blank page. What's going on here? So check your grade book or set your notifications to get an email, or however you like. You know, you can even get a text that something's been put in there. Here's just some more tips. And these overview videos, I mean, they're just, I'm not really saying anything different than that's written here, but it just might be helpful to you to feel a little more connected and have the overview. So that's up to you. Sometimes I give tips on specific types of problems and things. So here's your weighted grading breakdown. Again, if there's a conflict between like Canvas or a video or your syllabus is gonna have like the grading that would override anything. If I have it in the syllabus, that's what I need to stick to. Dates, though, for things like, for example, assignments, the weekly outline is kind of loosely made at the beginning to give you a scope and sequence. I try to really stick to that for tests and things that you need to plan for, except if it doesn't fit what we're doing at the time, like you're not quite ready for a certain section, I'll take that off of that test if we haven't covered it yet. So sometimes I need to bump them up. Like, for instance, the power's gone out for everybody for a couple of days, you know, I'll make exceptions. Or it's just we need to spend more time. It's just getting too intense. So here's the breakdown of everything. Okay, you can read through that. You do have extra credit, so you might want to take a look at those now. Those are posted. Some opportunities. Here's a syllabus. Make sure you read through that. You can reference it while you are taking your syllabus quiz or questionnaire. Okay, so make sure you go through this. You get a few tries. If something's still not going right or you're not sure, I mean, you can have opportunity to have up to 100%. Just let me know and we can talk about it. This counts as a homework, not a quiz. So that one, because I did not actually submit it, it won't let me through. So I have to take the quiz. And I'm going to do really bad on it. Submit quiz. You should actually take the quiz. And then see, I didn't do good, so I could take it again. But what I'm trying to do is just get through right now so I can walk you through. Then here's more about Desmos. So I sometimes, this clicker goes a little too quick for me. Here's MyOpen Math. Hopefully a lot of you have used this or a similar program. Okay. You get 2% off per day for this course. That's still the same. And if it's late, you have to use a late pass. You get 50 to start with, I think I gave. And then now this one, the assignments for homework, usually I just have you mark as done so that you know you finished it, because you can leave it, you can work like for a half hour and then take a break. As long as you submit, make sure you actually enter it, you know. So if I'm late, then I would want to redeem the late pass. But I am not late. It's not due yet. So I'm just going to go ahead and start. And I can just go through and submit. Okay, I haven't changed that. So sometimes, let's just put this in. Sometimes you have to really pay attention to what they're asking. Enter 4 or more decimal places. Okay, so if you're not sure, you can always jump to answer and then you'll get a similar problem, but at least you kind of know the format. So I don't want to submit again. It gave me my check mark, so it'll hold that for you. It may not show immediately, but it shows pretty soon after. So now for this, I'm going to just move on to the next page. It's set up in the corner there, actually, if we go back and look. Let's go back in. I can resume. Okay, I couldn't move on because I didn't mark as done. So it said progress saved, done, right? So that marks it for here and gives me a score. So if I click that, I'm going to see that I only have 7.7% for a grade. But once you go back and resume, which you can for homework, then that will change. If I want to get through this and just remember to go back to it because you really didn't finish it, you can mark it as done and go on if you want to see what's coming up next. But it's good to just kind of get things done in order. Again, I do that more. You have to work in sequence to move on for this first module, just so I know we're all on the same page, literally. So here's just a sample PDF submission, because everything's going to be submitted for the most part as PDF files. Otherwise, it just takes me a long time to open them. They're different sizes. It's not uniform. I can't download them in my Surface and that kind of stuff because I do like to write feedback. So we're just going to practice on here. If you have a method already, then go ahead and use that. You can print out this sheet and write on it and submit that, or you could just write on any paper. I try to write the late policy at the bottom too. Again, I actually had to submit something, so just click that, and I'm going to submit, pretend I submitted a file. Here's the comments that I'm talking about. You can ask me questions in here. I'll just say hi. Or you can just say, I had trouble with this, or whatever you want to say about it. And you can go back and look at those and see my replies in the gradebook view. Here's frequently asked questions that you might find helpful. That's optional. End of current module. I try to do that at the beginning and end, because if you just keep clicking next, you won't know that you've gone into something like this is an optional thing. Winter 2021, the student remote learning support, they've put it in every course, and it's long and you don't need to have it. So I don't want you clicking next, and thinking like that's required. So I wrote you a little note there, and you can now at this point, I would go back to modules or home page, and you can see where you've gotten all your check marks for that module. And what I suggest is you just click it closed. You've completed everything there. This is optional, use as needed. So you can read through those things. It's nice to see the outline view a lot of times, to see the scope and sequence. Again, this one I would not suggest clicking through next. And once you get going in the course, I'll probably bump that down to the bottom. And here's a review of algebra skills. Again, use as needed. So again, I prompt you. There's a start and end to this module because you can't see that. They don't do that in Canvas automatically, which I wish they would. When I've taken courses with other things, they kind of tell you like this, okay, now you're on the next one, and it tracks it for you. So I've done that for you. You don't get check marks with these optional things. You don't have to view them, but these are not necessarily my videos. I might pop a few of mine in there, but well, looks like that one needs to be, oh, that's okay, that's my colleague.
Hi all, this is a video on salt.
Okay, here's James Souza. I'm going to add to some of these. I'll add some of mine. I should. So some of them are mine, some of them I've added other people.
So for this,
okay, so you might find that helpful. But again, a lot of this is just things you don't need. So you might go out to modules because you might have just had Math 99. If you had Math 99 with me, this will look really familiar. But there might be a topic that, like, say, literal equation or rationals, and you know, I know some of you love those complex rationals to simplify. One student called it an abomination. So they're not too bad, but this is your actual content module. So now that you've done that getting started module, you should be able to access this. It'll be solid dark instead of gray. And here's a weekly outline. So you may want to just skip this video and jump to this. You're computer savvy. You don't need these weekly walkthrough kind of things. Okay, but there's your scope and sequence, same as your syllabus, but I'll put it at the top of every module just because for me, I know I need to reference that when I'm looking at what's due when. And the next thing is your intro videos. You can put your little bio in there. If a picture's challenging, then you can skip it. Here's Desmos. Now I have to go back. I don't know if you probably can't see that because my screen's not showing that, but here. I have that open in another screen for you. So to get back to your canvas, just click that top. Okay. Desmos, of course. Okay. Now this one you have to submit to get your check mark. A lot of these are my colleague Maya, these reviews. Now this is an actual graded lesson, so you want to make sure you get that done. It's not optional. Down here though, there's extra practice, and this is where I was thinking I would make some extra videos for that. So I'll take requests to start off with. I do have a lot of solutions written up, but if anyone wants videos on those, just email me. Okay, and on this one, to get my check, I would have to mark as done, but you're not sequenced, so you can go ahead and get through if you want to just go back to that later. So that's actually kind of nice. Okay. And again, this is paper homework now that you're going to submit in Canvas, and you'll have to take a picture of your work, just like you did for the practice one, and submit. Okay, so this now you must be solutions, and so I've locked that until after it's due, but you know where to go back for it. Here's some extra practice again, not graded. So you get the solutions there, so that might be helpful. So let's skip through that. End of current module. Start of new module. Outline again. Oops. And this is intro to functions and notation. And here's your electronic. Now keep in mind you should be writing out your stuff, especially for electronic. Paper, it's kind of obvious you're going to do that, but for this one you want to keep a notebook so that you can use it for this discussion board. And I'm going to show you where that discussion board is. You can always just go over to discussions and check it out. More lessons and such. And here's the discussion board. So once you've gotten some done, you don't need to wait until you're all done. You can do it. You can do a few problems and post first ones get their pick. So read through the directions, but basically what you're going to be doing is clicking in this reply box, and you may want to use the let's see, tools. Where's my little number thing? They changed all this here. Here it is. So you go insert and then up to equation, and then you can actually get this little palette and you can do things like exponents and fractions a lot easier. It's just an easy kind of a LaTeX I don't know, tutorial. It does it for you. It's an equation editor. If you know LaTeX, just type in LaTeX coding. Or most people want to just write it out on paper and then insert the image. So on this one, you can actually just do it as a picture and, put your image in right from your computer. So you save it in there. I disabled attachments because if people are just attaching things all the time, and it's a pain for other students to read through your stuff or me to read through it too. In open attachments, you have to often download them. That takes space. So just put in a picture and make sure you shrink it. So let me pause first. Okay, so I'm going to click Insert Image, Upload Image, and then you can click here or you can drag and drop. I'm going to go to just my pictures, and I'm just going to put in this problem, just pretend that's one. And then I'm going to do the attributes here. Okay, embed image. Submit. Submit was down the bottom right. And it comes in here, it comes in really pretty big. So you can image, if you click on it, see how it's highlighted here, and you have this little thing, image options. You can go over here and do custom, click that custom for size. It's right now it's at custom, but you can just click small. Okay, and that will help it be, let's see, easier for people to open. Okay. Since this really isn't part of the bit, I'm going to go here and click edit, And I can take that out, or I can actually, if I want to just delete that whole thing, it'll go away. Okay, and here's paper homework. Again, you're gonna use the discussion board for those. You do, I think I have you do at least one problem, and then for the other, you could just post 2 problems, but there's other options you can read through, like you could help someone else, you could find, there's a variety of ways to get your points. Find a resource, stuff like that. Okay, and again, end of current module. Then this brings us to Library of Functions Toolkit. I'm going to go back out to the home page and check if I have any new announcements and where I'm at. So I don't need that. I'm going to close it up. This, again, I haven't finished it. So I've got some blanks here that I need to keep working on. Same here. It shows I've done some things. And now we're at week 2A is Library of Functions. I'll get that posted up probably all by tomorrow, so that we're a week ahead. We'll get week 2 up. But Library of Functions Toolkit reference, you might remember that if you took Math 99 or an Algebra 2 pretty recently. But that's really important when we do transformations here. We're going pretty quickly through that, and we want to just know those basic parent functions or library of functions just so naturally that be really great. And then here's some other review things for you, or resources that you may find helpful. Some are redundant. So again, you can just close those and look at them. I'll consolidate those. So that's it that you have for now. There's lots to do. Let me know how it's going. If the review stuff from week 1A is not review, then talk to me sooner rather than later, because really this algebra skills and even functions, all of this week 1 you should have done in some way, shape, or form. Maybe not the depth or messiness of problems that's kind of sticky, but you should have done it before. If it's new to you or it's been a really long time and you don't remember it, then Math 99 might be a better course to be in, and I can help you get set up with someone for that. So talk to me, or we can just make sure I do more work with you, give you more resources, that kind of thing. But it'll be almost like you're doing 2 courses in one, which is doable, but it's going to be obviously more time. You should be spending anywhere from 10 to 20 hours on the course. I try to figure about 15. You'd have 5 for class time, 5 for basics of homework, and then 5 for other, studying or researching or, kind of going into more detail, discussion boards, that kind of stuff. All right, so have a wonderful week. Let me know if you need anything.